So this is Bunnings Bali style, and look, it's, I say that a bit tongue-in-cheek because from where I come from, you go to Bunnings Hardware anywhere in Australia or New Zealand, you can pretty much build a house out of what you need right there in one shop. Over here it's very different. You get one shop sells the plywood, one shop sells the paint, one shop sells the sandpaper, and you've got to go to all the different shops to get all the bits you need. So I just thought I'd bring you, I've got to come down. Look, the great news is we're nearly finished the major part of the renovations. Luckily the structural stuff wasn't too big. The bathroom's all but finished. I need some plumbing fittings for that. We're ready for paint on some of the walls, and we've still got a bit of scraping and sanding to go on the roof and where they put the new gyprock in. So that's all happening. But on the meanwhile, I thought, well, I'll bring you down to Bunnings, Bali style, and check this out. So there, you can buy a sink. That sink there is only $26. There's a big one there. That's the one I've got there, 65 bucks, Aussie style. And hey, look, they actually sell Western toilets too. I got my toilet in. It flushes. I've had a go already. Only number one. But, and so you've got your tile mix and some doors, wheelbarrows. You've got to have wheelbarrows hanging out in front of a hardware store. There's some locks. And here's the pickup. Now, normally when you buy something here at Bunnings, Bali Bunnings, most people here ride motorbikes. So the chance of taking stuff home on a motorbike is pretty difficult. There is a Mitre 10 here in Bunnings. A few people have said to me, oh, what about the Mitre 10? Well, you know what? It's a long way away from where I stay, and I'm not going to be able to straddle too many tiles or take too much home on the scooter. So, and the problem is because you get, look, if I get, see there's little black trucks here, usually black, this one's nice white, but these little Suzuki and these little carry trucks, you see them all the time, and they race up and down a high. You can get a taxi truck basically, and you just jump on your Grab or your Gojek app, and you say go box, and that's a box truck. And for about 20 bucks I can get whatever I want dropped around home. So if I'm buying a heap of tiles or something heavy or big and bulky, I can get the truck to drop them around. But you can't get them to go and pick some other stuff up on the way. So if you need some plywood as well, and you need some paint, you need like 3 or 4 different things, it's actually going to add up quite quickly, because when you can stop and think, the wages over here are about $10 a day, but a box truck from here about 2 kilometres back to my place is 20 bucks all by itself. So if I've got 3 trucks to get stuff delivered, it's 60 bucks, man. It's like a heap of days' wages. That's a week's wages for some poor bugger over here. So I'm trying to be a bit economical about what we've got. I thought, look, we'll come in and have a quick look and see what what they've got here. This place is called, oh, I'll get it right. It's just called Depot Banganan. There we go, there's a big sign over there. Depot Banganan. And it is one of the larger hardware outlets, and they do a lot of paint, they do tiles, they do some tools but not much. So let's go for a bit of a look. Nicely air conditioned, there's a good start. And like most stores in Bali, they have a points cashback system to reward frequent flyers. So, plug in. So straight in, we're into the granite tiles and the large floor coverings. Everything in Bali is tiles. You don't ever see carpet, maybe a mat or a rug, but not very often. And it's much practical because of sandy bottoms, and these are easy to clean. Oh, I'll give you an idea what you're paying. There's some quite nice patterns and prints and whatnot. Let's just find a nice marble granite looking tile. Here's the ones I use in the outdoor kitchen. That's $8 per box, and that's a box of 3 tiles, 600 by 600. Same with these models. There's $10 a box. So some of these boxes are 4 tiles for a box. So that gives you, it's not very much, it's quite cheap actually. And then you can get the real big ones like this, and they're 600 by 1200. They're great for a little bench top. Yeah, nice and sturdy. And that is 30 bucks for a box of, how many's in a box? Maybe just 2, I think. Yeah, I think it's just a box of 2. So it's $15 per sheet. That looks really nice. Actually, that gives me some ideas for my kitchen because it's pretty strong and it looks nice. It's durable, and it's a lot easier to move. So look, huge tile section, massive selection, lots of stuff. It works. Puggy. And I've got smaller tiles down here. We've still got to organise the splashbacks for my place. There you go, some nice little prints. And you got some vinyls and some other bits and pieces over there. So very extensive floor covering section. Lots of selection, and they like a lot of rich colours and quite opulent looks. So that's half of downstairs. On the walls they've got a whole heap of other stuff. Some really big sections and big pieces. This one must be fairly fancy because it's $120 a box. I don't know how many's in a box of those ones, but they're 80 bucks a piece. So yeah, that's where the rich people stay. And here's water tanks. I'm going to need one of them soon. Water tanks, some ladders up the back, and now we come into the adhesives and the grouts for your tiles. Here's really popular, these ladders. You just push the button and lift it up. They're popular because you can fit them on your motorbike and shoot up the road, because most of the tradies are just getting around on a motorbike with a small little tool case, no power tools, and a ladder hooked on the back. So here's all your grout mixtures and colourings and your different tile fixes. And good stuff. I tell you what, the staff here are really attentive, and they come up. The problem is, very few of them speak English at all. And usually the guy who speaks English isn't from the department where you want. So trying to find out, trying to get what you want can be really difficult. And specialist stuff, they don't tend to have it. They just tend to generalise, and they'll have their way of doing it, which is probably nowhere near what we'd expect at home. But here's some silicone and some caulking, some foam, a bit more grout, seal it. So now we're getting into the paint section. That's bloody huge, and I tell you what, it's quite strange because every brand has not only its own aisle, but the brands are all mixed by the representative from each brand. So we're going down here. They do have Dulux. They've got Weather Shield, and they've got some other types of Dulux paint, which I'm very familiar with. One of the other big ones here is called Jotun or Jotun. That's quite a good brand. And if we come down here, when you want to buy your paint, you go for a look around, and then you come down to the paint section, and if you want Dulux paint, there's an Aqua Shield there. You go to the Dulux guy, and he mixes it up and does all the prep for you. And if you want a different brand, well then you go to that guy and they mix it up for you. So it's all done by the actual agent for that paint, or the specialist for that brand. Which is a bit different from what I'm used to. Now this is the whole brush and accompaniment section. They've got a few brushes, a few rollers. These things are only $2. And nice little paint set. They've got some sandpapers there, that's not too bad. They don't sell bloody paint scrapers. Look, where the hell? I've been looking for paint scrapers, you know. And they've got brushes, they've got rollers. You would think in a paint shop they'd sell a damn paint scraper. Now, maybe I'm just being stupid, I can't see one. Not those type there. You can buy them, they're not going to help get all the loose paint off. I'm not after those actual scraper ones. Don't have them. Crazy, just bloody crazy. Alright, so there we go. And you go into there, and I'll sit down, I'll mix their own little paints up, and I'll do that. So I'm going to actually buy some paint today, because we're nearly at that point where we can paint the... hello, Puggy Boss. We're going to paint the interior walls, and we're actually going to start moving in as soon as the painting's done. So we're only a week or two away from actually starting. We've already started to move some of the stuff in, but in another week's time we're going to be hopefully moving in even under a little bit limited circumstances, but I've got it done. I've got a shower and a hot water service ready to go. I've just got to get the fittings for it now, and that's it. So let's go for a quick walk upstairs and we'll check out what they've got to sell us upstairs. Look, if I want lighting or electronics, especially fancy stuff, you can get it here. And if I want toilets, it must be for the Westerns. But so there's a beautiful lighting section, and then over here you've got all plumbing and hardware for your bathrooms and whatnot, and also showrooms as well. So you've got any number of automatic little toilets. They've got the bidets, the auto flushes. They've got nice little rooms set up, little display rooms. Here's a fancy one, look at that. Please do not open the seat cover manually, it's because it's bloody automatic. And then the simple ones down there, they've got toilets that don't flush, like the one that I've had at home for the last year or so. And they've got tons of showers, fittings, all sorts of plumbing extras. Whatever you need, you can have that at any price level as well. So there's some nice stuff here. And let me give you a quick look. Oh, there's a fancy one, gold one. And there's the old, we call him a bum gun, and that's where squirt your bits to wash off. They don't use toilet paper here generally because it's no good for the drainage system. So all your fittings, your taps, tons of that stuff around here, and the price very, very reasonably. You know, 25 bucks for your double taps, sort of stuff like that. There's a oh, I need one of these. I need one of these for the bathroom. A short one. $9 bucks. I reckon I should just get one. Well, that's what I need. I'll grab one of them with me. Man, shower set, all good. Oh, thank you. And friendly staff, look at this. Gotcha. That's it, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I got you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
There we go. They didn't know they were going to be on YouTube today, did they? That's the whole range of plumbing fittings. Oh, a little bit of look. That's all you get as far as cleaning products and disinfectants and stuff. These are pretty cool though. This is a clothesline that you can pull out and just push it back in. All perfect for little small spaces. A little tiny bit of fittings and adapters and that plumbing stuff, not much. Some towel rails. Hello boss. And there we go. So there's the rest of the plumbing supplies. You've got urinals here. Look, they still sell these things. I've never seen one that clean though. But they're still quite common. You see them all over the place. Hand basins, I've got little hand basins at home. There we go, there's a whole heap of those. I think they're called Turkish toilets or Turkish dunnies, I don't know. Squat potties, I call them. I call them bloody horrible. I tell you what, just to learn to aim, it's something that I guess they grow up as a kid and it comes naturally, but it's not something that a big fella like me, it's hard to get down, bloody hard to get back up again. And look, there's a few showers, there's a lot of spacious room, and they don't have a lot of tools and fun stuff. Some bathtubs, some furniture, some fairly basic stuff, but reasonably good. And garbage bins and bits and pieces. Compared to Bunnings, there's just nowhere near the selection or variety. Some mops and buckets, brooms, these type of brooms, these straw brooms, old-fashioned style things, very, very popular. Mops over here. I want to take you to the tool section because you'll be surprised So much in the way of sinks and basins and doors. And here's all the kitchen stuff. You can buy kitchen appliances and sinks, stoves, all that sort of stuff. To give you an idea, that one there is it's $1,700. And that's where your gas bottle goes. That's not even a full-size oven. Not the cheapest. Water coolers. Some nice doors. Little tiny air compressors. Everything's small because they don't have a huge amount of space over here. Look at the little weed eater. Look how tiny it is. So here's the tool section, and it's like 1 bay long. There's a couple of bits and pieces down there. This is the extent of the spanners and tools. Look at this. Shears and some bits. There you go. That's the whole thing. If you want to come up this end, you get a fire extinguisher, you get a raincoat, a couple of extra spanners, tape measures, screwdriver, saws. They have them, but they have so few of them, and the range is so limited, and the quality is, it's not tradesman's quality by any stretch of the imagination, and unfortunately this is where a lot of the tradies would come to buy their tools. But the power tool range, they've got the old Makita, and then they've got Mac Tech, which is a Makita. I think it's made by Makita, but it might be Makita Indo or something. I don't know if it's quite the same quality. And a few power tools here, not very many. And look, the biggest problem, you'll buy a power tool, but you won't necessarily have the attachments that go with it. And you've got to go somewhere else to get the attachments, the buffing wheels or the cutting discs or pads or stuff. So I tell you what, it's bloody hard. Drill bits, it's just, look, I'm just used to the selection that we get at home, and the selection at home is phenomenal. You can walk in and just pick up almost any tool you can ask for. But here, that's it. That's all that tool section, pretty much. Here we're up to lights and back into the cables and wiring section. I can buy wire on a drum. I've seen so many houses over here that have been wired up with literally with speaker wire. It's frightening. And some vents and stuff here. We've got some lighting and bulbs. So look, the old Bunnings has got a little bit to be desired. You can get, well, it's not Bunnings, it's really, but it's the closest they've got here, and it's a lovely store, nice staff. I wish they spoke English, but not many of them do. And you can get a majority of stuff. You can get the higher end stuff, and you can get some good brands. There's some Bosch drills. They're not big on power tools over here. They're not big on all of the cordless drills and stuff. You can get them, but they're either not the big brands or they're bloody expensive. And the cheap ones are just cheap as, man. You use them once, throw them away just about. So if you're trying to do something on the cheap, it's not hard. But if you're trying to do something for more of a longer term, yeah, it's different. Hey, it's not home. It's not Australia or New Zealand. It's Bali, and everything in Bali's a bit different. Hey. So look, from here I'm going to go home, and we're going to have a look at what we've got left to do in the kitchen. We've got some paint to pick up and order. Hello.
Hello, Michelle.
And plenty of stuff here. Not many people. Not many people at all, but that's all right. They've got 1 million staff, and the staff don't get paid very much money. I don't know if they're on a commission or not, but they don't seem real quick to run up and try and help you. So there it is, a mini Bunnings. Big, huge building. The aisles are wide, plenty of room, plenty of staff, a bit of stock, and the prices are reasonable. It's just so many things that they don't have here that makes it really, really hard. But the stuff they do have is really good. So, or most of it. There we go. That's what shopping for hardware is like in Bali. It's different, and you can get what you need. In a lot of places, I can't buy plywood here. I can't buy bolts and hammers and nails. I can buy hammers, but I can't buy nails and screws. That's the frustrating part, because the bits that you'd expect to be able to pick up while you're here, you've got to go somewhere else to pick them up. And if you don't know where that place is, and even just asking the locals where to go can be a challenge. So that's where it sort of does my head in. You get half of the job done, but you just can't get what I would assume would be the most normal things to have in that place. But then what you can get, pretty good price, and seems to be reasonably good quality. Well, that's it. Let's go home and do some more painting. So I picked out the colour scheme. We're going to some nice shades of cooling green and see how that goes. So I've got to tell you, they sell paintbrushes, they sell rollers, they don't sell extension handle for the rollers. So they just get some bamboo and tie it on. Only in Bali. They're big fogged up. So look, here's where we're at. I have a bathroom. There's the toilet. The hand basin's going to be sitting here. Just getting all pipes of that hooked in. Hot water service up there, pipes go up through the walls and back down into the other side for the gas bottle. Electricity's right there for the light. Oh. And what was an old door has now been reskinned as a new door. Beautiful tile work around the sides. So that's a huge step up. We've got the kitchen is starting to be painted. We've got some undercoat on there. We're planning out all the bench tops there. Still a bit of work to do on the walls here. The ceilings have all been done, including up there above the kitchen. So that's just going to be sanded back and painted. We've got a few coats of undercoat already on the bedroom. A couple here. So that's certainly underway. Doors are done. We go at the back. And so my fiancée Fee runs a commercial kitchen. She runs a warung or a cafeteria at the local high school. And she gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning cooking nasi goreng and chicken, black pepper and all these different delights to take to school so the kids can have a hot breakfast. Now I've decided, rather than to have her having to heat up the whole house, we've made a little outdoor kitchen for her. And actually, what was the kitchen? So I'm out the back, and this was the boarding house originally. Now we haven't done anything to the walls yet, but here we've made up a nice couple of benches here. So she's got a wash down area. We're going to have a tap going there. She's got a prep area. The stove is going to sit in between there. We're going to paint that up. And she's got her own nice little outdoor kitchen. It's going to have running water. It's obviously got a waste trap there as well. And she can come out here and sort all that out and have plenty of room to hang saucepans and pots and pans and stuff like that. So we'll have our private kitchen, and then we'll have the outdoor kitchen, or the commercial kitchen, which we can have a big oven or big stove or anything else we need in there. And you don't really want to, a lot of our people in Bali have outdoor kitchens because you don't want to heat the house up. You don't want to get steamy and hot and muggy when your air conditioner's working really hard. Now we don't have air conditioning at the moment. We've got these vents across the top of all the doors, and they do a reasonable job in ventilating the room. It's actually not too hot, and it's a big high ceiling here, so it's not too bad. But once you start working a bit, you get a bit of a sweat up. So we're going to put air conditioning in, and that means we're going to probably close off those vents, but I'm going to paint them first. So obviously they're going to have to be cleaned down because they haven't seen any cleaning for a long while. I'll tell you what, it's a long way close to being finished. We've still got a little bit of jib there. So we've got some work to do in the ceiling over the other side, in the boarding house side of things. And there was some clear sheeting up here in a little carport that fell apart. So when we can, I think I'll upgrade that timber because it's certainly not the same grade as you'd use at home to hold a sheet of iron up and something like that. So look, we've already started to move, to be honest. We've already moved a couple of carloads of the donated clothing and medical supplies. We've got some toothbrushes and toiletries and all that sort of stuff. as well as a whole heap of stuff. We've got a big rubbish pile here, which is all going to go off out to the dump. There's some broken and cut asbestos tiles. They use asbestos a lot over here, and I know it's bad. And in Australia, it's like, oh, quick, asbestos. As long as you don't disturb it, it's safe. It's, in fact, even painting it and blowing and brushing and stuff on it can be hazardous. But if it's sitting there doing nothing, it's generally considered pretty inert. I'm going to get the. I've spoken to my mate. I'm going to get the water filtration here, just for my health and for the health of people that come here to visit. Because look, to be honest, over 5 years it works out bloody cheap. It's only it's about $400 a year or something, and we pay a fair bit of money for bottled water over here. So this is water that we'll put attached to the new pump that we've got that goes down to the well or the bore, and we'll put a filtration system on that's monitored, so we can have a good idea of the solids and the things. If there's any contaminants get into the water, we'll know straight away. And the best thing is we'll be able to go up the tap, turn it on, drink it straight out of the tap, shower in it, not have to worry about brushing your teeth and all that sort of stuff. Because, to be honest, for $400 a year, it's a pretty cheap price to pay. It works out. I think it's just under $2,000 for a system that lasts 5 years. So you work it out. It's a brilliant idea. A little bit of, I think he said about $6 or $7 a month in ongoing maintenance, because there's a chemical, a disinfectant that gets pumped into the system just to keep the whole system pure and clean all the time. And I'm looking forward to that, because every time you spray water on the floor, for example, you're putting disinfectant on the floor, and it's safe to drink. It's 100% safe, but it's cleaning things as you go. And one thing about Bali is it's not known to be the most sanitary place to live. So I want to make sure that this place here is good, and I want to check the system out, because I've been talking about these systems for a while now, and I want to have a good idea. You know, if I'm going to brag about something, I want to make sure it's good quality. So look, I believe it is, but let's get one here and get it started when we can afford to, and we'll put it in, and we'll let you know how that goes. We'll do some water quality tests before and after, and we'll see how long it takes for the system to come into its own. It's probably pretty much instant, to be honest, but I'm really keen to say probably might take a few days for it to settle down. But that's how we're going. I'm excited. I'm really, look, I tell you what, just waiting in line at the hardware store. I found a cheaper way, because I didn't have so much. I didn't have any big things. Didn't have any big heavy stuff like when I bought the tiles and the big things of paint. This time I just got a little GoJet car, and it was only $5 to get all the stuff that I bought, the paint and all the fittings and fixtures and stuff. It only cost me $5 to get it delivered. But it's when you start getting big things like sheets of ply or roof sheeting or anything that can't fit in a normal small car, you're going to start getting one of these Go box things, and they get a little bit more expensive, 2 or 3 times more. So I think about $20. So I got a couple more hoses I've got to go pick up, hook that water service up and give that a bill, and keep going. I might start doing a bit of painting and do a bit of a test paint first and see if the colours are going to look good. I reckon they're going to look fantastic. And then I tell you what, I've decided, look, I've been here at 8, 10 o'clock at night sometimes painting or cleaning away or undercoating or something, and the builder come up and he said, $400 to paint the entire interior of the house. Why would you do it? Why would you do it yourself for $400? I supply the paint. He gets a team of people in, all the ladders, everything I need. They just get in here, done. They'll probably do it in a day or two, knowing how quickly these guys are. There's a lot of stuff that needs, because the paint was really bad condition, there's a lot of stuff where it's been rubbed off or it's rough, and we're going to have to fill that, plaster it up and just clean it off. And above the door here, that's going to be done. So I'm not going to bother, honestly, trying to climb up and down a ladder. I'm too fat, too old, and for $400, honestly, I don't know why you think about doing it yourself. I might do some door trims and keep doing a bit of it, maybe come down and give them a hand. But essentially, I'm excited. We're just about ready. It doesn't look like it, but that's all good. We picked up a chair and table the other day, so we've got a little dining suite that'll go in there. We don't have a kitchen yet, and I can probably keep working on the kitchen while the guys are doing the painting. So I'm going to build a steel frame kitchen bench setup, which we can slide the drawers and the cupboards in under that. And I'm still debating whether or not to do the concrete or just go for the tiles. The tiles work really well out in the other kitchen, and it is temporary. I'm not going to live here forever, so do I go for something that I can do really easily and just get it up and running, or do I go for something that's a little bit more fancy? I'm a bit inclined at the moment to just go for tiles because I did them before and they were simple. I've got the diamond cutters, and yeah, look, that was easy as. Don't know, I'll wait and see. I'll just see how far we get and how far the money goes and work out what's the cheapest and what's the best option. There we go, guys. I think the next update, honestly, is going to be we're about to move in. We're so close to that, and it's just that paint and the next few bits and pieces to go. And we've renovated this whole dump and turned it into a little bloody jewel in the crown. Still looks rough on the outside. I'm not going to worry about the outside just yet. I will, but I haven't got the money to completely go over it and do it. But we're going to do it with proper paint. I'm going to get I'll get all the graffiti artists to come and paint that for me. Oh, geez, I tell you what, this whole house has seen some time. Hey guys, listen, just one more thing. I do want to ask you a special favour. This month I've had, I think, 70,000 people watching my vlog, watching my progress with the house, some of the other travel videos and other stuff we've been doing. But I've only got about 8,500, nearly 9,000 viewers or regular subscribers. The way you subscribe, at the end of the video, there's a little red button that says subscribe. All that means, it doesn't cost you a single cent. It just means that it puts more people on the cycle for when I do a new video. So if you subscribe to my videos, you can unsubscribe for free anytime you want, but if you subscribe to the video, it just means when I do a new video, especially if you hit the little bell icon, it means that you get a notification that Muzz has just done a new video. That's all it's about. It means you can easily find me as soon as you go to search anything on YouTube. Muzz is one of the first things that comes up. I've got probably 50 or 60 people that or different pages I subscribe to, and they all show up in my feed regularly. So you don't have to keep me on there, but as long as you're enjoying what we're doing over here, I tell you why it helps me in a huge way. The metric, the algorithm that helps to Google to point more new people to this website or to this feed is determined by the number of vlogs, the number of views, the number of ads watched, and also the number of subscribers. So by you subscribing to my channel, it means you don't miss out on any of the adventures that we're having over here in Bali. It means that any information that I want to share with my subscribers, we can have chats, we can meet up, we can have all sorts of extend that journey a little bit further. But also it means that I get more potential fans and followers, because Google's going to help us to recommend us to more new subscribers. So please hit that subscribe button. It means a big difference. Look, we get a little tiny bit of money from YouTube to make this possible. We don't get paid by the government. We don't get paid by the restaurants that we go and vlog about. We're doing this just because I love Bali and I love the people in Bali, and I'm just sharing my experiences with you guys. So in order for me to be able to do this, it's essential that we try to increase a little bit of cash flow so we can keep the content fresh and active and go out and visit places and do lots of fun stuff. So when you come over, you know where to go and what to do. So please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share it on your own page. If you're enjoying what we're doing, share it on Facebook, share it on your own social media, because that helps us to drive new customers over here, and that makes a big difference to me. So thanks guys, I really appreciate that. And when you come into another quick thing, I welcome you to join my Facebook page. At the end of this video, there'll be an icon on my Facebook page. Join me on Facebook, follow me, send me a message, say g'day, because if you're coming to Bali, the easiest way for us to get in touch is you can send me a private message on Facebook, and I can jump in and say, yes, listen, we're doing a seafood special on Monday night, or listen, if you want to know how to get a hold of Al Make a Tour, or any of the other people I talk about, I can help you out directly. If you get in trouble, I'm a guy who speaks good English that's on the ground here, who's got a lot of connections in Bali. So look, I had a lady with a broken back that rang me in desperation. Mars, what do? I just had a disaster. We were able to help her get her back home safe and sound. And I'm proud to be a part of that little bit of helping out. So please subscribe, join my Facebook, say g'day, thumbs up, like, make comments. If you're enjoying these videos, make some comments. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. And thanks for coming, guys. Really do appreciate it. It's a great, I'm having a great time sharing this journey with you. The good and the bad, and the funny and the stupid. But I tell you what, I'm so excited because after over 12 months of living in Bali, I finally got a button on the top of my dunny. I can flush it. I don't have to use these. I can use a bit of bog roll, just a little bit, and I've got my little gun just in case. But things are starting to look up, and I'm glad to share that journey with you guys. See ya.